Good morning. This was actually from yesterday. I didn't actually go live. I have been very busy with actual mundane and real work. So I just wanted to go over these cards with you before I drew new ones for today. I'm Witch Michelle. Hi. If you're looking at this on my YouTube channel, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the bell for notifications. I didn't even get, I don't know if I even uploaded fucking Friday's video at this point. But before I pull cards today, I wanted to um, discuss yesterday's cards that I pulled. And like I said, I was really busy, so I didn't get a chance to do it. And the reason why I talk about the hallucinogens is because my fear of death always is confronted when I take any kind of a hallucinogen. It comes up. I think I'm dying. I feel like I'm dying. I don't know how to let go and let the experience of what the mind opening is trying to do for me. I even watched a couple of Timothy Leary videos where he talks about you need to trust your nervous system and know that you're going to be okay. I had an experience last year at some point before COVID, and I realized that I really wasn't going to die. I'm still a little dicey in the very beginning parts of doing any kind of an hallucinogen because that that feeling of it before the fun part happens is always the part where I think your mind is actually opening and expanding to confront all the things about what's happening in the universe, what life is, what and the thought of your passing, your mortality is brought up into that whole thing. And I say this to you because the card for this week was death and grieving. And part of what this card asks of you is for you to actually sit with your mortality and feel the feelings that you feel. And part of shadow work is understanding your feelings and the reactions that come from those feelings, and understanding that feelings come and feelings go. They don't normally last for long periods of time. You don't spend days constantly feeling the thing that you're feeling. I take my panic and anxiety, for example. Though I have had days of rolling panic attacks that were happening in my sleep and throughout the day, there were moments during those times where that was not happening. I slept, I dreamt, I was able to function as a human. All of those things happen. So to remember that feelings are feelings, and you don't they don't always just hang. You're not just constantly in this cloud, and to understand that feelings just are those things. How you choose to react to those feelings is entirely up to you. So yesterday, when I was trying to figure out how to let some stuff go, because that was another thing that the card talked about, the death and grieving card, was letting go of what doesn't serve you anymore. People, places, things, experiences, jobs, lovers, friends, whatever it is, letting them go and then grieving them. And so I asked this week or yesterday, what am I supposed to do? How do I do that? And I got the Ace of Cups, which is the beginnings of emotional interactions, thoughts, processes, whatever. It's all about your emotions. It's the beginning of that understanding of those emotions. And you see that it's a mother with a baby in the womb. And for me, because of the death card, I found it pretty interesting when I really just took a moment and looked at this card and tried to absorb what I thought it was saying to me. Because when you read tarot cards, just the little FYI, the definitions are great, but you really need to take a second and process the image on the card. What is this card saying to you? How is it speaking to you or to the client that you're reading for? You need to feel what it feels for you at that moment. It might change from time to time. Your eye might be drawn to different places and images on the card that speak to you differently in different readings and at different moments in your life. So I took a second to actually look at this card, and I thought to myself, holy cow, this is a lot like what I believe death to be. So you have the mother birthing the child. Her head is in the cosmos. So to me, that is for sure the universe. That your consciousness is in the universe. That's where it goes, and eventually you come back to the womb and are rebirthed in some form or another. So people I love that don't serve my growth have to be let go of, but I have to mourn them. And I know that the universe has me sink into myself. I know that the universe has me, and I need to sink into myself. I think that's what hallucinogens make you do. And this new version that is emerging takes some time to get to know her. I need to let go of grief, let grief take a backseat, because I don't think for me it's time for me to be grieving all of this stuff that I have thrown out of my pardon me thrown out of my life. I think that I need to take a moment to revel in what I have let go of, because it was really toxic for me. It wasn't serving me at all. It wasn't helping me grow at all. So it's a little weird for me to think about, okay, well, let me grieve my cousin. Let me grieve that friend. Let me grieve whatever it is that my parents and what they did and the abuse that I suffered. Let me grieve all of those losses of that childhood that I was robbed of or whatever. I think mostly I'm supposed to take a break and let all of that sit in the back seat. Not that I'm not ever going to revisit that, but that I need to just like move forward in what I have already shed, because it was a lot. And now I need to start like taking in stuff and then decide later what I need to grieve. Um, and then I pulled a self care card, and this one was connect with your ancestors. And in the book, I love this card. Isn't it pretty? In the book, and I know I just said don't look at all that, but these are new cards, so it took a second. I've also, by the way, been dreaming about third eyes a lot. I think it's kind of interesting that the third eye came up. It's come up on other cards and in other things that I've looked at recently. Um, this card is about connecting with your ancestors and having forgiveness and trying to understand what made them tick. That was the journal question, was to understand what they've gone through and ask how much of that has come through to me and what I'm dealing with that they were dealing with. And I know it's a lot about patriarchy and women not having a voice, because, I mean, that was the time, that was the culture. So that sort of makes forgiveness a little easier. Hey, Mary, when you recognize that the ancestor, especially the female ancestors, when you're a woman, have brought into your life, maybe even if you're a man, because you're carrying your mother's baggage with you. We absorb all of that stuff that they're going through in the womb. We're carrying their DNA, and then their DNA is encoded memories. You can't tell me that that's not true. And in her DNA, my mother's DNA, her mother's DNA was encoded, and all of that comes out a little bit in you. So connecting with your ancestors is a really important thing to do, trying to see life through their eyes, their struggles, and what made them the people that they are, and how much of that you've brought into this incarnation that is your life. So today, when I ask questions of my cards before I read them, it's going to be how to receive just a little bit more of that dissolving into oneness and accepting myself, and accepting and giving myself a little bit of a break for how much change has occurred in my life, and the practices that I put into place to help me move along on my path to become the person that I am today, as opposed to the person I was even back in October, you know. So that was yesterday. I'm going to upload this to the YouTube channel today. Then I'm going to later, probably after I'm done here, um, do another card or two for today's journal work and for my shadow. And then Michelle and I are talking about going live tonight. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to talk about. I think that we're probably going to talk a little bit about paganism and empathy and what an empath is. And you might really want to tune into that because I don't know that you're going to agree with us, and you don't have to. This is how we feel about empathy and empaths, and what we think it really means to be one of those kinds of people. And so, yeah, that's where we're gonna go. So I hope you have a really good day. I'm gonna go and make my breakfast, and I'm gonna go exercise, get a shower, maybe put a little shit on my face. I got to run around and do some errands, and then I'm gonna come home and do another video. So, and also, as always, if there's something you want us to talk about, if you have questions about paganism, uh, or about what you think religion and politics has to do, or women's rights, or black lives, not that we're like experts on black lives, but I think that black lives and women's rights and shit like that are kind of intertwined. I would love for a black person that wanted to be in on the conversation to come hit us up and join the witches and have that discussion with us. That would be so super awesome because we're not authorities on that by any stretch of the imagination. So anyway, yeah, have a good day and put your questions, comments, whatever in the chat box below. And have a good afternoon and day. Wait, it's morning time. Have a good morning. I'll see you.